Good morning, my lovely little ghosts, and welcome to the Dark Orchard. I'm Laura, and this is a Star Wars video. As I said in my intro, this is a Star Wars video. More specifically, today I'm going to be talking about the new Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. So without further delay, let's get started. So if you follow any Disney vlogs at all, you may have noticed that the Galactic Star Cruiser has opened for some influencers that Disney personally chose. Those influencers were allowed to post their videos recently, which gave all of us not involved in that an inside look at the new Galactic Star Cruiser. The first video that I saw on the subject was Jackie from Super Enthused. She was invited out to experience this hotel, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it. I'm also going to link her video at the end and in the description because she did a great job of showing firsthand what it's like. But as someone that hasn't been, I just want to talk about it from a cosplayer's perspective, from someone who has experienced things like cosplaying and LARPing before. I want to give my input on what I think about this new experience. So, first things first, what is the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel? Well, first off, it's not quite a hotel in the sense that you would think of a hotel at Disney. What I mean by that is, it's a submersive, interactive experience, rather than just being a place to stay. I personally feel like it should have been labeled as a Galactic Star Cruiser overnight experience, or 2-night experience. And I'll elaborate. This hotel is Star Wars themed, yes, but it's not just themed. You are fully submerged into a Star Wars storyline. So they bring you in by shuttle, and you're sent to a loading dock that looks like this. It's an entryway where either the shuttle or your own vehicle can bring you to the loading dock. Once inside, you take off towards the main ship. So the launch pod will take you to the Halcyon, which is a galactic star cruiser. Basically, cruise ship in the galaxy. And that's when your adventure begins. This is a LARP, above all else. To sum it up to its most simplest terms, this is a live action roleplay. From the moment you get into the launch pod and are sent to outer space to enjoy this hotel experience, you are in a live action roleplay, whether you play along or not. Everyone else around you, all the characters, are going to be playing along in this storyline. In my opinion, this is a really cool concept. There are some things that could be tweaked. Just from the reviews and videos that I've seen thus far, there are some things that could use adjusting or adding, but as a whole, it's a really cool idea, and it's the first thing of its kind that I know of. So before we get too super excited, let's talk about the logistics. This is a 2-night stay. From what I understand, you get there early, you have a full day itinerary, you sleep in your little Star Wars themed room, you get up, you go to the park, you enjoy things there, and then you come back, you sleep in your Star Wars room, and then you leave the next morning. That's my understanding thus far. So how much is it to submerge yourself in the Star Wars universe for 2 nights? Pretty pricey. So let me make this bigger so you can really get a good idea of these prices. So we have 2 guests per cabin. That's 2 adults, or an adult and a child. $1,209 per guest per night, or you can pay the total of $4,809 for the entire voyage. Now, if you're 2 adults and 1 kid, then it would be $889 per person per night, or a lumped sum of $5,299. And then, if you so happen to be 3 adults with 1 child, 4 guests in that cabin would be $749 per guest per night, or $6,000. $6,000. Now, the cheapest experience is right at $5,000, so you get $1,000 off if it's just 2 people. Why wouldn't you just add the extra $1,000 and take another person and a child? I don't know. The pricing, in my opinion, is super weird. I understand that you're getting pretty much all day entertainment for 2 days, but that's a lot. It's really a lot to say you're not actually going anywhere. You're in a building. And while it's really super cool that they, like, inside the building, the windows aren't real windows. They make it look like you're in outer space. And there's a place called the Bridge where you get to see, like, a video game simulation kind of thing with battle droids and things. Like, very submersive, but also kind of claustrophobic. And I know that there will be some people who will get freaked out by the no windows thing. Even though it makes it look like there are windows, there's no actual windows. So let's take a look at those rooms while we're talking about being claustrophobic. So this is a view from these small bunks. There's 2 of these in this specific room. So you got the bed, you got the 2 bunks, and then you've got your fake window that makes it look like you're cruising along in outer space. From what I've heard, all of the windows are synced, so no matter where you are, if you go from one place to another, it will look like you're in the same place, which is also super cool. So here's a view from the other end so you can see the bunks. And then the bathrooms, I don't have a picture of it, but I'm going to put a clip in here. Itty bitty little bathroom. Like airplane style bathrooms, like cruise ship bathrooms. And I get it. I get that's what it's supposed to be. It is. And it's kind of cool. But at the same time, I would feel like I was back in Sweden. Because it looks so small. So for a resort stay, for a $6,000 resort stay, you are not paying for the room. You are paying for the experience. But that $6,000 does also include your meals, except for alcohol. Alcohol is separate, so if you get any specialty drinks, you do have to pay extra for those. And one of the coolest things that I saw is that I did see some influencers that got to experience the overnight thing where they went to Galaxy's Edge on the second day. And they got these little buttons that was like the symbol of the Halcyon. Because they were wearing that symbol, they got interactions with like the bartenders on Galaxy's Edge. And they acknowledged that they were on the cruise. And they acknowledged that there are only specific drinks that you can get just on the Halcyon. They really played along with it and played it up. I do really like the idea that they take you to Galaxy's Edge, and I love that they give you the lightning lane so that you can experience Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance while you're on Galaxy's Edge, which also is incorporated into the adventure that you're experiencing on the cruise. For example, they're given tasks for them to complete, and one of the tasks is to smuggle some supplies, which would be Smuggler's Run, where you're on the Millennium Falcon. And of course, in Galaxy's Edge, there's this giant Millennium Falcon that you get to be inside of and pilot with different people. So I mentioned the drinks and the food. The food does look appetizing, and even though it is food that we would recognize, it's not presented that way. When they plated it and presented it to the influencers, they called it like Star Wars themed things. Instead of it being steak, it was some sort of beast meat and things like that. It was once again submersive. The whole thing is very meticulously themed. And then they also have a lightsaber training where you're literally moving a lightsaber around and blocking a beam. And that was really cool, but it kind of made me think, why don't they have VR? because a VR headset would be very reminiscent of the Star Wars movies. My brain goes to the younglings that were practicing with Master Yoda. Why not have the little helmet that has the VR thing and have you train that way? To me, that would make more sense than something shooting out of the wall. But I digress. It's still pretty cool, and it looked like everyone was having a lot of fun. The part that I would be the most excited for is the entertainment of it all. Not just being able to interact with characters, because there were some fantastic characters, and they have so many interesting characters, from the captain to the singer that's on board. There's an intergalactic multilingual singer named Gaia who is traveling on the cruise with you. And she's absolutely gorgeous. I believe she's a Twi'lek. She's got such a lovely skin tone, and her outfit is gorgeous, and just everything about her is fantastic. And she actually performs in a bar area, which really puts you in a Star Wars scene. And I think that would be the one thing I would be the most excited about, is getting to see that performance and interact with the characters in that way. So basically, the LARPing aspect is what I would be the most excited about, versus like enjoying the details of the ship or playing the games. I'd be more into seeing what the characters have to offer, like finding out their stories. Because from what I've seen, all of the characters have individual stories, and they know their parts really well. They know the storyline that we're supposed to be going through. And we do get to see some, I'm going to call them legacy characters, some characters from previous films, whether that be in holograph form, on a video screen, or actually on the cruise itself. There's a whole entertainment aspect to it, and it looks like a lot of fun. One other really cool thing that they did with the building of this place, they built the building, but they built it in a shape that they could do a schematic of a ship and have you look at the schematic of the ship and find your way around the building. So the shape of the ship is the shape of the building, pretty much. And I just find that really cool. If it wasn't, I feel like it wouldn't feel as real. And I'm definitely one of those people that could totally lose myself in the storyline for this. It just looks like a fantastic time. And you're probably thinking, this sounds absolutely too good to be true. What is the availability? Well, as of right now, there's a lot of open dates. Most likely because it's $6,000 to go and experience this. And not a lot of people have that ready to just throw. This is going to be one of those things where people will plan on doing just this when they come to Florida. Where people plan trips to go to Disney, people will be specifically planning trips to the Star Wars Galactic Cruise. And when I saw the details of what's involved with all of this, my first thought was, oh wow, all of those like devoted Star Wars groups are going to just go crazy about this. But I can still see it being a major destination point for those like hardcore Star Wars cosplayers that spend thousands already on their costumes. Now they'll finally have a place to wear them, hopefully. Hopefully Disney won't have an anti-costume thing for this experience, because I know at the parks you can't wear costumes, and it would be a real bummer to not be able to wear Star Wars themed gear while you're supposed to be experiencing it like you're in Star Wars. It would be very counterintuitive for them to set a dress code in place for something like this, because I feel like the majority of their visitors are going to be cosplayers versus regular families. I could be wrong, but I just don't see a lot of families booking a $6,000 stay in a hotel, where you're basically going to be in the hotel and then visiting Galaxy's Edge, when you could book an entire Disney trip instead. I don't see a family doing that, but I could be very wrong. And yes, I know there are some exceptions, but as a whole, I don't see it happening. I see more couples or friends or cosplayers being the main demographic for this experience. And the price point isn't very welcoming to that kind of dynamic. So hopefully, as we progress, maybe the pricing will fluctuate a little bit. Maybe there's an off season to this kind of thing, and prices will fluctuate. We can hope. We can hope, because I honestly would love to do this, but I would not love to do it $6,000 worth. So that was me telling you a cosplayer's point of view on the new Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser experience. For the comments down below, tell me what your favorite thing would be if you got to experience this. If you don't talk to me about that, tell me what you think they should change. If you don't talk to me about that, tell me what you'd like to see them add. And if you don't talk to me about that, just talk to me about something, because I love for you to talk to me down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you come around again soon. Say bye. Bye.
Galactic, say it slow, Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel.